Hi, everybody. My name is Tim Welly. I am the CEO and founder of DXD Ag Insights, and I'm really excited to share with you what we've been working on. Here at DXD Ag Insights, we are building a platform for crop consultants to do their own applied research using your own trusted agricultural data. So what that means is you're going to be able to slice and dice your historical observations and other agricultural data in a way that lets you learn from your data, understand how different fields performed over time and the factors that may have contributed to that, and then ultimately better communicate with your growers, partners, using your agricultural data in a way that maybe you haven't been able to in the past. So with that, let me get started. Today we are pulling in Field X data, which is a powerful platform for crop consultants to use for crop scouting, general record keeping, soil sampling, as well as variable rate prescriptions and irrigation. We're pulling in that data, but we can also pull in things like weather and soil type, and in the future we'd be able to handle other data as well as customers need it. So we are organized in our web application into kind of super tabs over here, focused on the type of analysis that you're going to do. So first being like a crop summary, which is the overall view. We also have sub-applications in our test site focused on pest data, recommendations, and crop history, growth stage history, looking really at that in-season growth curve. So first, I'm going to focus on the crop summary, and then we have in each view, there are tables, charts, and a map. Those are the primary ways that we are presenting that data and letting you interact with it. Now, I'm looking at one grower right now, but this is designed to work using the large set of data that you have been collecting over the years. So you can look at multiple growers at a time. You can filter in different ways, look at specific crops at a time. All of that can be managed here in these main filters. So let's dig into the tables a little further. So I've got, all right, so let's say I want to look at the rotated versus non-rotated fields. So I went in and I filtered this to have rice and followed by soybean. So these are the ones that are rotated. I selected all these fields, and I can go ahead and select rotated and add that grouping to the selected. Now I can see that some of these actually were previously marked as non-rotated, so I can actually select that and remove that grouping from these. Now what I can do is go ahead and select the ones that were rice followed by rice, select all of these. Now in this case, there are well over 100 fields that I'm going to edit at one time here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark these as rotated, add that grouping to them, and I can see there are a few that had both added to them. So I can remove the non-rotated group from that same set so that I have all of my fields grouped appropriately. Now, it is up to you what you do with these. So it doesn't have to be this group. It can be whatever it is that you need to tell the story that you need to tell and learn what you need to learn from your data. Additionally, you are able to control what you're seeing. So you can hide and unhide specific data fields here, and then just see what you need so that you can most efficiently work with your information. All right, a lot there on just the tables. Now, what I have selected here for the secondary filters, that actually is going to be able to stay with me as I go through and further explore the charts and the map. So in this case, I just removed those so that I'd see the whole data set. All right, now let's go to actually one more thing before I leave here is there are some times when perhaps you didn't enter data into field X that may be useful later. A couple of things here. One is there are certain fields, and there can be more fields. Right now, it's just tillage system. If you don't have tillage system, but you wanted to add it in after the fact so that you could be comparing performance of no-till versus conventional, for example, you can actually do the same process to edit multiple selected field seasons and then add that to it. So if I want to mark these fields as no-till, I just select them here, and now I apply the changes to those selected fields. And when I go over to my table, I am going to see tillage system now listed as no-till. All right, now let's go to the charts. So in my charts tab, I have various types of charts to display the data. First is the crop mix. So looking over the years, 2022, 2022, 2021, and on back, I can see how many acres were planted in the specific crops. Okay, and then I get to a summary tab, or a summary section. So this is how many acres were planted in specific crops and the count, how many fields that was split across here in this bar chart. And then I can see that average plant day over time, which is very interesting to see. When we understand that certain years were better or worse, we can look at a chart like this and see, okay, well, maybe that was the factor. Maybe that's something we need to think about. There is a lot more we can do in terms of the specific charts and um, data fields that we chart out like this for you to explore your data. So always interested in hearing feedback and ideas on what you'd like to see. And then the next piece is where we start to see some of that performance information that I added in the prior table. So I put in information about low yield, average yield, and high yield, and this aggregates that for me. So I'm going to be able to see by crop the number of acres that were in low yield versus average yield and high yield by year. And then I also see it by variety down here. All of that is aggregated for me. Now, this is the absolute number of acres that I'm looking at first, but I do have this option to change that to 100% stack so I can see the percent instead of just the absolute number of the performance of each category. So I can see uh, rice in 2022, it was 40.3% that were in the low yield and 59.7% in the high yield. And then here again, I have the ability to start to chart some other attributes that can be split by that low, average, high yield. So in this case, I'm just doing low versus high yield for planting day. And you can see there's not that big of a difference with this demo data set. Of course, this is demo data. This isn't uh, real data that I'm working with. So maybe there would be some splits that you would notice here in your data set. So now, as we move forward, what you're able to do is actually change the comparison type from yield category to stand category to custom grouping, where you have set up some specific groups and you can compare, what was different between those two? What was different in the conditions that were experienced in the fields that had, one attribute versus another. So that is a great opportunity to really get into some additional slicing and dicing of your data. And the sky's the limit, and you have a lot of control over what you are able to do and learn with this information. And then finally, we have the Maps tab. So this is looking at a map, just of a plot of all of your fields, mainly by crop at this time. That's where the feature set is. So you're going to be able to see where all of, you know, one type of field is versus another. You are going to be able to uh, do things like see groupings here, see high yield, low yield type attributes here, but that is a feature that will be added in as we go, and very interested in learning and hearing more about what you'd like to see and how you'd like to share information using a map with customers. So that is the main demo here. Thank you so much for your attention. Now, one additional piece is that we have additional things in the works. So this is what we are looking for customers to get in and start using today is this high level summary. Pricing is on the website. You can sign up for the waitlist on the website to get started. All right, just very quickly, I want to show some of the things coming down the line in the near future that are currently on our test page, which you'll access if you have an account via the links on the left side that say goes to test page. This is the pest page that I'm going to use to show this. Specifically, I am looking at weeds, and I have a similar table that I had on the other side. So I've got the grower farm field. I have the specific weed that I want to go in and look at. And then I have pest severity filter. So if I want to see just the high pressure or just the trace pressure, whatever that might be, you're able to select that there. So in this case, I'm going to just filter this down to barnyard grass only. And then I can see this other set of columns here. So we can actually go in to the data and identify the first time it was observed in your fields, the last time it was observed in the fields, calculate the days after planting for the first time and last time, and then also look at the growth stage that was recorded at that time. So this field here had pressure from barnyard grass between V3, three-leaf stage, all the way through V11, early booting. So this is the kind of information that you would be able to get using a system like we're building here at DXD Ag Insights. That's not easy to come by anywhere else, and it's just using your own data. From here, we're going to be able to do some charts. We're going to be able to map this data out and even run some statistics on it that you would be able to use to understand how this pest behaved and communicate that with your growers and other partners as you try to handle things in the future. So with that, thank you very much for your time and attention here today. I am looking forward to working with you, and I hope that I'm able to serve you here through DXD Ag Insights in the future. Thanks so much. Get in touch at www.dxdag.com to sign up for the waitlist. We're going to be setting up new customers in January. Because it's new, I want to make sure that you are set up as efficiently and cleanly as possible. So we are setting up one customer at a time just to make sure that everything goes smoothly. So get your name in line, and I am looking forward to speaking with you soon. Thanks so much.